Our exploration of the country of Iran will open new information that hopefully sparks your curiosity. More importantly, however, you will see that whether few short streets or millions of miles separate our pathways, we're all connected in more ways than we imagined. Iran is one of the world's oldest continuous civilizations, with settlements dating back to 4000 BC. Iran is located in southwestern Asia, largely on a high plateau, situated between the Caspian Sea to the north and the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman to the south. Tehran is the capital city of Iran, with a population of around 8.4 million. Iran's population is recorded at 75.42 million. This includes 51% male and 49% female. Iran's population is made up of 7 major ethnic groups: Persians, Azeris, Kurds, Lurs, Baluchs, Arabs, and Turkmens. These ethnic groups are spread throughout Iran, as you can see in the map. Now that we have introduced some of the important demographic facts of Iran, let's take a look at the historical dates that relates to the religion and laws affecting the region. 1925. It was when the Pahlavi's dynasty was found by Muhammad Reza Pahlavi. He was succeeded by his son Reza Shah, the last king of Iran. Ruhollah Mousavi Khomeini was an Iranian mustajid who wanted to change the government and bring back the old religious culture that was forgotten. And with the help of the people, Imam Khomeini became the ruler of Iran's government in 1979.
اقتصاد ایران دچار بحران‌های شدید بود به دلیل بی‌قانونی‌ها در زمان انقلاب و تحریم‌های خارجی و اقتصادی.
Iran has been going through lots of problems, and it has been changing and improving its culture. And thankfully, in the past 12 years, Iran's culture has become more coordinated with the Western culture. As we further investigate the culture of Iran, we must note that the guidelines of fashion are being influenced by both established tradition as well as the more westernized, relaxed, and non-traditional beliefs.
Iran isn't exactly known to the Western world as a hotbed of inspiring trends in fashion. Under the Islamic law, women must dress modestly in loose-fitting clothing that doesn't draw attention to their figures, with the hijab at least partially covering their hair. Dark colors are encouraged so as not to arouse the men. Men, however, wear traditional attire, but unlike the women, they have no specific guidelines to follow. Although there are guidelines that have been put in place over the course of the years, Iran's fashion for both men and women have become more westernized. The country's newly elected president, Rouhani, has been making good on a campaign promise to relax the dress code enforced by the Basij or morality police. Rouhani states back in July, many women in our society who do not respect our hijab laws are virtuous. Our emphasis should be on the virtue, not on the mere outward appearance. The statement proves, although women's dress code laws are still in place, they have become more relaxed due to the emergence of different views. The country is definitely becoming more open to westernized practices. Despite the positive movement by some toward more non-traditional practices, we cannot neglect the strong influence that the traditional view has played in the roles of genders within the region.
In the traditional view, an ideal society was one in which women were confined to the home, where they performed the various domestic tasks associated with managing a household and rearing children. Men worked in the public sphere, that is, in the fields, factories, shopping malls, and offices.
Deviations from this ideal, especially in the case of women, tended to reflect adversely upon the reputation of the family. The strength of these traditional attitudes was reflected in the public education system, which maintained separate schools for boys and girls, beginning with the elementary level. Women work around the house, cook, clean, go grocery shopping, and look after the kids. However, Since the culture has become more westernized, the gender roles of women have begun to change. Women are now more involved in the external workforce. Now that we have provided a glimpse of the demographics, the history, the clothing, and the marketplaces of Iran, let's look at the daily life of Iran.
Iran is filled with kind and enthusiastic people who are usually busy doing something fun on weekends. During the weekends, most people are at family parties, and some go out to dinner. Teenagers and their friends, on the other hand, are at certain parts of the city in the crowded malls or simply enjoying a nice day out. During holidays, people travel to the north and the south of the country in particular because of the wonderful weather and the beaches. They also spend their time exploring some of the more cultural and historical cities like Shiraz and Tabriz, which are located in the middle and the eastern part of Iran. One holiday that always brings a smile to everyone's face in Iran is called Eid Nowruz, which is the Persian New Year, celebrated on the first of spring. It is similar to Christmas. People visit their families and their relatives, and they usually gather in the grandparents' house to eat the traditional food of the Eid, which is fish served with rice. Note that you always let the oldest member of the family start the meal. When entering a Persian house, you should always check to see if they practice taking their shoe off. If they do, you should take yours off as well. It is also respectful to bring a gift when going to someone's house for the first time. We cannot end our discussion of Iran without taking a brief look at the food that influences the region.
When you walk into a Persian restaurant, you will typically greet everyone by saying the standard greeting salam. After being seated and taking a look at the menu, you will soon realize that you only see halal food, which includes chicken, cow, and sheep. You will not see certain foods such as pig and duck, because they are considered haram. Alcohol is banned from the Persian beverages because it is also considered haram. When ordering your food in Iran, note that your meal will always be prepared with either white rice or naan, which is bread. Some of the popular foods you will see on a restaurant menu in Iran when walking down the streets of Iran are shawarma or chele kebab. Chele kebab is an Iranian national dish which consists of fillet of lamb marinated in lemon juice or yogurt and grilled over a hot fire. This is served with grilled onions and tomatoes on a bed of chelel, which is rice. One of the most common drinks served with a meal is dul, which is yogurt and salted water. Upon picking up your first bite, everything should be eaten using your right hand. It is the belief of the Islamic religion that your left hand represents the devil and your right hand represents angels. In most other countries, dinner is considered the main meal of the day. In Iran, however, lunch is considered the main meal of the day.
Just as in other countries, Iran also has a lot of great monumental buildings to visit, such as the Jehan Square in Isfahan, also known as Shiraz Square, which is a beautifully constructed museum that includes a lot of beautiful paintings done by local artists of Iran. Another popular place to visit in Iran is the Nasr-ul-Mulk Mosque in Shiraz.
It is one of the most photogenic sites in Iran, gaining popularity due to its beautiful stained glass windows. If you want to admire the place in all of its splendor, you need to pay a visit as early as 7 to 8 a.m. when the sunlight falls through the windows at the right angle and lights up the interiors of the main prayer hall.
I moved from Iran to the U.S. around 2 years ago, and I remember thinking about how hard it was going to be for me trying to adapt to the new culture and to the new environment. And now, when I look back, I find it less challenging as I expected it to be. And at the end of the day, I come to realize that I should put myself out of my comfort zone, trying to explore my surroundings.
We hope you have enjoyed your brief tour of Iran. It is an exciting country, like so many others, that offers diverse demographics, a rich history and tradition, a unique culture, and practices influenced by a vast view of customs and beliefs.